guys, it's Jared and welcome to another self-help psychic development video. Today I want to talk about the subject of spiritual protection. I haven't talked about this subject for a little while on this channel, and I thought I would give some tips about spiritual protection, talk a little bit about it, the foundation of it. Do you actually need spiritual protection when you're developing your psychic abilities? How can you protect your home and things around you, and some of the things that I have learned along my journey. So without further ado, let's get started. Spiritual protection. Spiritual protection basically is like any other form of protection when you're doing any other form of work. If you're working on a construction site, you wear a helmet and maybe knee pads or something in order to protect your body parts. When you're working in the paranormal, when you're working spiritually, you use protection in order to make sure that you're letting in the right energies and you're disregarding the wrong energies. This is something that I teach my development groups, and this is something I'm going to teach you in this video, different techniques. Now the first one, take a look at the grounding video that I did. I'll put a card to that here, so it'll go right up there. Take a look at that video because that will talk about grounding. And what I'm going to do is this Saturday I will do a spiritual development video where I'll cover grounding, protecting, personal cleansing and general healing in general. Okay, and what I'm going to do is do the meditations in one video a week, so we're going to have one meditation video a week. Some of the ways in which you can do this. Right, talking about spiritual protection, this is basically the way it works. When you do a development work, so where it's part of a workshop, where it's part of a circle that you've joined, whether it's part of a paranormal group, people always use prayers, affirmations, visualizations, and sometimes they will use things like physical objects like crystals, charms, bracelets, all these different things. Sometimes they might use smudging. So we've got all these different things that people use for protection. Why do people do it? Spiritual protection essentially is a mindset. This is the thing that I always try to get through to people. It's a mindset that you're putting yourself into. Is I want to put myself, and I'm working spiritually with another person. So if I'm giving a psychic reading, or if I'm working with someone with healing, if I'm doing paranormal work, whatever sort of work, and if I'm just doing development work, if I'm just talking to you guys here, because I generally tend to get influences and different things as I'm talking to you guys on these videos. But if I'm doing this sort of work, I want myself to be in a mindset where I know that I can't be harmed. Now, this is something that takes a little bit of training, especially if you can be quite an insecure person. Now, when I first started, I was quite insecure about myself. There's still facets of me that are a little bit insecure, but I am aware of them. And especially when you let your mind run away with you, you experience something, suddenly your first thing you think of is it bad? Is this something I've got to be frightened of? Because it's unusual, because it's something that you're not used to. So it puts you in that nice, relaxed, loving mindset. You're putting yourself in a heart-centered mindset in order to do this sort of work, and especially if you're doing self-development work, so different meditations, trying different affirmations, different techniques, etc. It is always good to do the protection first. It's something that I do religiously with my group, and make sure they know how to do it. Eventually you get to a place where you can just do it like that, because you know the energies, you understand the energies, but also you know how they relate to you. So if you get a certain type of energy that you feel, is it something that you're feeling that's mirroring you? Is it something that's manifesting in the astral or in physical reality that's giving you, that's mirroring your thought processes about yourself, subconsciously or consciously? This is the same when you're doing protection around the home. Although depending on the type of house that you've got, depending on the structure, the architecture, all that kind of thing, whether you've got old brick or sort of new brick, older houses or modern houses, I suppose, and all new and old brick, but older houses or modernised houses, can generally have or attract a lot of activity. So like protection is something that we do on the home quite regularly, and so I'll talk a little bit about how to do it with yourself first, and then I'll talk about how to do it with your home. The first thing I always tend to get people to do is to do the breathing technique that I taught in the first video, which is another card there. I think I've got one more card that I can put as a card there. There you go. The first video that I want to talk, I talked about when you do your breathing. It's all about breathing to get your body in that sort of relaxed state. You get yourself into a nice rhythmic breathing pattern where you breathe in white light and you exhale black smoke. So you breathe in and breathe out. As you're doing it, you allow yourself to relax. The best meditation that I use, or visualization I use, is either some sort of prayer or affirmation. Now the reason I use prayer, it's not I put my hands together like this and, oh God, thy Father, protect me from the evil spirits. Although some people do it, it doesn't work for me. What I say by prayer is focused intent. I put the intent out there. So I might ask the universe, I might ask the Great Spirit, but I put the intent out there. But I know when I'm putting the intent out there, I'm not asking something greater than me. Though people do, they call upon Archangel Michael, or they call upon their spirit guides, and that's fine. But I like to teach people to do it themselves, because you're not bringing in something that's greater than you. You're doing it within yourself. You're learning to do it within yourself, and that way it kind of sticks. So what I ask people to do is I ask them just to focus on their heart area, and I get them to focus on a time where they feel or they felt loved, where they're doing something that they love doing. So perhaps if they love being creative or drawing, or if they love gaming, or whatever they love doing, I get them to focus on what they love doing, and then I get to focus on the people around them that they love, and imagine that as a light centered around the heart area of the chest. I think the camera's a bit off my chest here, so it's around the heart area of the chest, and you get them to breathe into that light and just focus on what it is that they like doing. Focus on the people around them that love them. Focus on the love that they have for people around them. And focus on an event. So it can be an event where you had lots of people around you, an event that that hasn't turned sour. So I think focusing on like an ex-partner that you've had a divorce with or something, a time then when you felt love. Don't focus on that, because that will be counterproductive, because obviously you've got the intuitive, you've got the subconscious bit then saying, well, actually turn to shite, like. So depending on who you are, it depends on your circumstances. Choose something that makes you feel loved. Relive that in your mind, visualize it in your mind, and breathe into this white light in the heart area. And as you continue to breathe, watch it grow. So grow it down to the stomach area, grow it up to the neck, grow it down past the knees, up past the top of the head, down to the feet. So it surrounds you then, a bubble of golden light. And just take that time as you're breathing to feel what that energy feels like. Ask yourself, what does it feel like to me? Ask that of yourself, like, what does it feel like to me? And then, when you let that energy grow, and you get used to it. And if you practice it for, what I did is I practiced it and practiced it and practiced it. I don't even need to do the visualization now. I just know that energy and then just go, slip straight into it. You can feel it. And you can actually feel it around people like in your life who are oppressive, or what we call energy vampires. I will do a video on energy vampires and what energy vampirism is, okay, at some point in the future. But just feel it, and if you do that, do it. If you one of the ways to test this is do it before you know you're going to be around someone that you all know, that sort of person that can be really negative or really nasty and almost like suck you dry, always looks down on you, that kind of person. And if you know you're going to have to be around that person, do that visualization first and then go to that meeting or whatever, that engagement that you have with that person, and notice how I've done it with people before, and it's actually quite funny because they'll try and have a gripe at you or give a go at you, and it just bounces straight back at them, and you can feel it bouncing straight back at them. And just like so it works on all levels. Right, working on spiritual protection in the home, you can still use this same technique. And one of the other techniques I use is I visualise a white speck of light in the centre of a room, and I grow that speck of light and push it out right to the four corners of the room. Push it out into the other rooms on the same level. So if I'm on the ground floor, for example, I'll push out into the living room, into the kitchen, into the back room, into the bathroom, push it out upstairs, into each room of the bedrooms upstairs, up into the attic, down into the foundations, and grow it out like a bubble of light all around the house. And push it out maybe as far as the back garden or the back gate, and push out as far as like to the pavement or the front of my house. That's one of the things that you can do. Another thing that you can do is Sean Durham taught me this one. Thank you, Sean. You've seen Sean on the Inside Indra's Net shows that we did last year on this channel, and some of the paranormal evidence archives that we've done as well. Is you can, first Friday of the month, now it has to do with the lunar cycles, but salt each door on the first, the front door and the back door, and you envisage a circle of salt around the house. That's another one that you can do. And in order to sort of cleanse the house, now this is a good exercise to do if you can get a smudge stick, a sage smudge stick. I'll do a video demonstration of this. There's a paranormal evidence video. It's going to be coming out in the next couple of weeks where you can actually see Richard doing this in order to clear any negative energies out from a house. Now sage is very good for removing negative energies, and what I call negative energies in a house doesn't necessarily mean it has to be an entity. It could be any sort of whatever happens within the walls of a house. The energy of the house tends to sort of record it. And you can find a lot of the time, if that doesn't get cleared, it can cause a very dense, very depressive, very fickle sort of atmosphere. And one of the things that you can do with smudging, and what I tend to do, is start at the top of the house and work my way down, and spread as much sage as you can. Do it in the I do it in the cupboards, or I do it in the airing cupboard and like some of the darker places of the house. And all you do is just you start the smudge stick burning. I don't do it because I've been on fire several bloody times because of my visual impairment. So I get Sam to do the smudging, or Rich if he's on a paranormal case. Is hold the smudge stick in your hand. You use a circular motion, a clockwise circular motion, and start at the top of the house and work your way down. And all I tend to do then is push all any negative vibrations out of the back door, and I use then the light to kind of protect the house from any things that come into it. So that's my video, guys, on spiritual protection. Do you have any other tips on spiritual protection? Have you ever done this before? Does it help? Do you have any questions about protecting the home? I think it'd be good for me to do a video. I might see if I can get Rich involved in this one, to actually do a video on how to see if your house is haunted, or what to do if your house is haunted. If you do have any problems about any issues within the house, check out Richard Oliver's website, www.paranormalnow.co.uk, or you can contact me through this channel, or contact me through my website, which is www.spiritualworlds.co.uk. So that was today's video on spiritual protection. Thank you very much, guys, and I'll see you tomorrow for another self-help video.